Well, good afternoon. Happy holidays to everyone. It's great to be here again. Happy holidays to you. I look forward to Tuesdays at noon when we converge in this space of, I call it a thinking oasis, right? It's a thinking oasis that allows us to examine our thoughts and to see if they're serving us well, right? And today, can you imagine? It's the last Tuesday of the year 2021. How the time seemed to have flown. But I'm going to call this message today Reflections on 2021 and Stepping into 2022, because that's what we're all hoping for. So, as we look back on our past year, in this space of Thinking Tuesday, we have continued to take some time, about 20 minutes, half hour sometimes, to examine our thoughts, to reflect on our thinking, and learn more about our capacity to intentionally use our thinking in ways that serve us. We're not interested in anything that's not serving us. That's not what Thinking Tuesday is about. We have followed our slogan to keep us focused on raising our awareness of the art of creating a positive mindset by cultivating self affirming thoughts and recognizing those negative, self limiting thoughts and beliefs that keep us from achieving what we're capable of and growing exponentially in ways that we could never imagine. We have so much capacity, so much potential. You should all be able to repeat the slogan from memory by now, but for those of you who are joining us for the first time, we'll share it with you now. And our slogan here on Thinking Tuesday is Your mind is a garden, because it is. Your thoughts are the seeds, because they are. You, yes, you can grow flowers, or you can grow weeds. The important message here is that you have the ability to choose what you want to think, what you want to think. Your thoughts are totally in your control. Even though there are things that we're taking in sometimes unaware of, we can always reflect on, where is this thinking coming from? Where did this thought come from? We need to tend to those thoughts. We can't just absorb them and let them run havoc or wreak havoc. So our mind is a garden, and our thoughts are the seeds. We have covered, as I reflected back on these past months of Thinking Tuesday, we have really covered a lot of ground. So I'm just going to use a few minutes today to recap some of what we've talked about, some things that we have learned. All right? We have learned that what you do today matters. We've learned to look at our daily agenda. What is your daily agenda? Because success is the sum total of what we do every day. So we need to really check our agenda, see what is it that we're giving our attention to, what is it that we're giving our thoughts to, and how are those thoughts driving our behavior, and those thoughts, how are they driving our agenda? Because what we do every day, depending on how we choose, that leads to our success. We also learned about decision making, how to ask yourself those uncomfortable, difficult questions. in order to make the right decisions, and keeping yourself open for self-examination. We get so busy during the day that we don't examine our thoughts, we don't examine our feelings, but then we see the results and we don't like them. So in decision making, we need to go to those uncomfortable places to examine what we're taking in, how we're behaving, what we're putting out, keeping ourselves open to self-discovery. We also learn that you cannot cross the ocean unless you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. How to live, how to grow, and how to thrive outside of your comfort zone. So we need to lose sight of those things that are comfortable, those things that are familiar, if we want to reach the other side. We also learned about the art of affirmation. I love that one. Well, I loved all of them, but the art of affirmation, which are positive statements that are used to challenge negative and unwanted thoughts. How to plant positive seeds in our minds that are self-affirming. We're all about self-affirmation here. And how to allow those thoughts, those self-affirming thoughts, to boost our self-confidence and open doors to new possibilities. So we affirm the things that we want to bring forth. We also learn about being hopeful despite the challenges of COVID-19, and there are many. We talked about how to cope with the realities of the pandemic. We have had to make some very, very difficult decisions. But we've also learned to see the possibilities and the opportunities for growth, even in view of the challenges of this pandemic. How we view things is how we do things. So it really depends on your perspective. It doesn't mean that we're ignoring those realities, but how we view things is how we do things. So check your view before you do. We also learned about how and when to seed and fertilize our thoughts, as we do in our gardens, right? Because we seed and we fertilize at certain times in order to have a bountiful spring. But in terms of seeding and fertilizing our thoughts, the answer is today. It's always today. Today is the right time. So stop putting off for another day the things that you need to do today. Tend your garden every day. Tend your thoughts every day. What excuses are you giving yourself for putting off something that you should do today? What about those dreams that get killed? Those dream killers, those excuses that you give yourself. Fertilize yourself with good thoughts, with positive thoughts, with can-do thoughts, because that's what's going to move you forward. Get rid of those dream killers. See them as those weeds that you need to get rid of. We also learned about the power of asking for help, because unlike many people think, asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of powerlessness. In fact, it's a sign of strength. It takes humility. It takes courage to ask for help. And we don't have to have all the answers. And we don't have to be embarrassed because we don't have the answers. We can only get the answers when we ask. So humility fosters growth. And arrogance keeps you stuck because you don't want anyone to know that you don't know. And as a result, you don't get the help that you need. So, asking for help, we learn that it's a sign of, or certainly a way of taking care of yourself. When you don't ask, you can't get fed, and therefore, you don't get the kind of care that you need. We also learned about practicing gratitude. There's a lot that we don't have, there's a lot that we might want, but there is a lot that we do have. So, how can we be grateful every day for what we have? We want to shrink those thoughts of scarcity and we want to develop an abundance mindset. You always have something to give. No matter how small, someone can benefit from it. So know that you have the potential to speak into someone's life, to help someone, just as you might want someone to help you. So think abundantly, get rid of scarcity mindset. You always have something to give, and you are much, much, much more resourceful. And this, just thinking about this, always makes me so happy because we are so much more resourceful than we could ever imagine. And that's what I try to convey on Thinking Tuesday. That's been very helpful to me as well in my life. To be grateful for what I have and to be grateful for what I can give. We also learned about encouraging yourself to dream and to pursue your dreams. Everyone deserves to have a dream, and everyone should have a dream. But remember, the dream is free, but the journey is not. It takes work to get to that dream, to achieve that dream, to achieve that goal. But what do you discover? The real gift you discover is who you have become as you work towards your dream. So the dream might be the destination, but you have to really appreciate the steps that you took to get to the dream. You are not the same person that you were at the beginning of the dream because you found out more about yourself. You found out about your resourcefulness. You found out more about your tenacity. You found out more about your self-confidence. It's building as you're achieving. You're building that self-confidence. So as you pursue your dreams, you're becoming the person that you want to be. And the dream is the icing on the cake, so to speak. You're not the same person you were at the beginning. Because we are gifted with the faculty of imagination, and that's what we use to dream. It's not kid stuff. We can still use that as adults, because that's what we use to begin to design the kind of person and the kind of life that we would like to have. So don't give up on that imagination. It's a very useful faculty. So continue to think about what you would like to achieve, who you would like to become. We only stop becoming when we no longer have breath in us. So it's always something to strive for. We can always become that better person. And then we also learned about the law of the rubber band. We're all familiar with rubber band. In their flaccid form, they have really no use, really. But just like the rubber band, we have to be stretched. We have to be stretched to reach our potential. Living within our comfort zone may be very comfortable, but it's not growth producing. We need to be stretched, and we can't be afraid to be stretched. And sometimes we need someone to hold our hand to let us see that we can be stretched. And then we feel much better after we realize that we can go through things, we can accomplish things, and be better for it and enjoy life even more. So those are just a few things. There's much, much more. As I went through my notes and reflected on what we've talked about over these past months in Thinking Tuesday, there is so much more. This is just the tip of the iceberg. And I just enjoyed going through and reflecting because I didn't even realize that we've covered that much. So this is not the end. This is just a reflection. But if you want to review some of the other messages that I shared with you on Thinking Tuesday, just go to my YouTube channel under Dr. Cheryl Burton and view them. And while you're there, please subscribe and share it with others. So one of the typical things that we tend to do at this time of the year is that many of us use the coming days to make New Year's resolution. And it doesn't mean that that should just be limited to New Year's. We should be making resolutions. We should be thinking about things that we want to do and we want to accomplish year long, and then measuring how we get there. If we get there, how can we improve the ways that we are using to get there? So as you think about the changes that you want to make in the coming year, I would like to remind you that no matter what your resolutions are, the first step to accomplishing any of those things is to reflect on how you've gone about fulfilling them or trying to fulfill them in the past, what worked, what did not work, why it did not work, and how can you implement new changes to make it more successful this time around? Because as we learned previously, you only fail when you tell yourself that you fail. And failure is only a failure when you don't learn the lessons from it. So there is a lesson to be learned in every unsuccessful attempt that we make. It's just a comma. There should not be a period at the end of that. Because everyone wants to succeed at something. So give yourself the opportunity to make this a more successful try. And I personally would like to offer you a path to your success in the coming year. I've mentioned my holiday offer of a new you in 2022. I just love the ring of that, a new you in 2022. It's an opportunity to be coached over a 60-day period with a group of like-minded peers. It begins on January 3rd and it runs through March 3rd. And it's an opportunity for you to achieve that goal that you've been thinking about, but not knowing exactly where to get started, or feeling a fear of not succeeding once you get started. Or maybe you've started and things have gotten interrupted by life's distractions and you want to start again, but you're a bit reluctant. Or you might be reluctant to begin again because you started and you were discouraged by others. There's so many different reasons why you either did not get started or that you started and have not returned. But right now, it does not matter. What matters is that you want to attain something. You want to fulfill that dream. You want to attain that goal. And this is an opportunity to start over or continue, but with a new mindset and a new resource. I guarantee you that if you apply yourself during the 60-day accountability group, which I'm offering, you will be equipped with those resources to begin and continue whatever that project was or whatever that idea is that you have been trying to give birth to. You will be a member of a private, supportive community of like-minded peers who are also traveling the same path to success. Isn't that exciting? I've been in some of those groups and it's been wonderful, the kind of support that you get from your peers who are also striving for success. You will be encouraged to share your plans, You'd get ideas about how to develop your plans. You'll be introduced to resources to help you to be successful. And of course, that mindset that's always, always so necessary to move us forward. Your wins will be celebrated among your peers. You'll be encouraged, you'll be motivated. Your progress will be followed daily through our daily Facebook group postings. I will help you stay on track and keep you accountable. We'll all keep each other accountable. There'll be weekly Facebook Live messages to keep you motivated and to keep you on the path. And in addition to that, each participant will receive one 30-minute bonus individual coaching session uniquely designed to meet your needs to complete your project, whatever that is. So this will be apart from the group coaching. This will be one person at a time receiving 30 minutes of individualized coaching that only pertains to what you are trying to achieve. And this special holiday offer is at 50% off, and it ends on January 1st because the group starts on January 3rd. And so there's a lot more information about this offer on my website, drcherylburton.com. There's also information about the registration. I would love for you to take this opportunity. I would love to work with you to help you achieve those dreams that have been escaping you, to reach those goals that you found difficult, to help you to think through those ideas that you want to bring to life. So go to my website, drcherylAburton.com. You can also get the link on my Facebook page for A New You in 2022. Please share this with someone else who you feel could benefit from it. I am betting on you that you're going to leverage all that you can to invest in yourself and create a new you in 2022. As one of my mentors say, this is the year of no excuses. Don't give yourself an out. Hold yourself accountable and help others to hold you accountable because you are worth it and your ideas are valuable. And the reasons why they come to you is because they're prompting you to produce something from them. Remember that this offer ends in 5 days on January 1st. I want to wish you and yours the best of the new year. Be well, stay safe, do all the things that you need to do to stay safe. Don't take anything for granted. I look forward to meeting you next Tuesday. Yes, it continues. I look forward to meeting you next Tuesday at noon for Thinking Tuesday. And I also look forward to meeting each and every one of you in the 60-day accountability group, which will be a real treat for you. So be well, as I said. Take care of yourself. Enjoy the holidays. And I'll see you next Tuesday on Thinking Tuesday at noon. Take care. Bye for now.